Hello everyone. Today I've got a card for you which again will fit into a 5x7 envelope and it stands up like that. And this one utilises all those little scrap bits I had left over from an album. So the papers here are from Lovin Life by Nitwits, and it's full of cameras and smile sentiments, and it's actually a never-ending card. So it'll just go around and around and around. So that's all I used was one piece of A4 card and lots of scrap bits left over from an album. So grab your things and let's see how it's made. So to make this card, you're going to start off with two pieces of cardstock, both of them 5x7. So the same size. And what we're thinking about is quarters. So I'm going to grab my scoring board and quarter of 5 is 1 1/4. So I'm going to score 1 1/4 all the way down the long side, turn it around and 1 1/4 again. And then the other one, I'm going to have it with a 7-inch across the top, and a quarter of 7 is 1 3/4. So I'm going to score 1 3/4, turn it around and score 1 3/4 again. So now what I've got are two pieces of cardstock with a score line quarter of the way in from each side. So now what I'm going to do is cut them in half. So the trick to this is, if the score lines are going vertical, I want to cut in half the other way. So half of 7 is 3 1/2. So my score lines are going that way, my cut line is going that way. Just keep them together. And then with this one, the score line's going that way, so I'm going to cut this way. So half of 5 is 2 1/2. So that's all my pieces done. So I'm going to stay on my scoreboard for this, because it's going to help me line everything up. So I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to be taping up the 4 corners. So I'm going to bring one of these over just so that I can make sure I don't come down further than that score line. So I'm inside this top square, but only taping down to the score line from this vertical piece. So put the card back together. Now this time I'm going to come below that score line. And again, so I'm coming to the left of this score line, but above that one. Now this is just my demo piece, so I'm not putting too much tape on, but normally I'd go up to the corner or take some glue. So there we are. So now I've got all 4 corners taped up. And I'm keeping these two together and up into this corner, and I'm going to take off the tape here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to place it on top. So it's actually sticking onto this down to that score line. And I'm going to do the same. So holding it all together, take the tape off, and I'm bringing this back in and placing it on top. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to take the tape off the other corner. So I'm just bringing it up so this card butts up against it again, but we're in that corner, so it doesn't really matter. We're just lining everything up into that corner there. And the same here. So I'm lining up. I'm just using my scoreboard as an alignment tool as opposed to a scoreboard right now. So let's move our scoreboard out of the way. And that's the card base finished. So how do we get it to turn? Well, now I'm just going to figure out how to open it. So it's going to open up this way first. And we're going to have those score lines sort of fold themselves. I'm just using my finger for now until we get all the way around. Then the next flip, I've got a score line there, there and there. So we're going to fold them back. And now it'll open and open, and it'll just keep going all the way around. So I'm just going to bring in my Teflon tool, and I'm going to score them a bit better now that I know it's all working. And then just across here. So this is now my template one. I just did it in that colour rather than the black so that you could see everything. So here's the template one I've made, and I've just gone through all the bits and I've written down the dimensions. So all I've done is measured the rectangles and made them 1/4 inch shorter each way. So I'm going to be decorating the black one, but it'll be easier just to see on this one. So let's find the front. There we are. That's the front. Now I think this vertical one is the front with the 2 big rectangles and the smaller ones on top, because you can actually then stand it up. So we're going to start off with some 2 1/4 by 1.5 rectangles. So these are from the Lovin Life from Nitwits. These are all just scrap bits left from making an album. So I've cut them out ready, and I've gone around them with some black distress ink just to get rid of that the white core from the paper. So all 4 of these, as I said, are 2 1/4 by 1.5. And I'm just centralising them inside the rectangles made with the score lines and the cut lines. And then these pieces are 2 1/4 wide by 3 1/4 tall. I like these papers with all the cameras and things on. So it's great for all your friends who are into their social media, into their Instagram and things like good, probably a teenage girl paper as well. Okay, so we've got our papers there. So then we're going to open it up, find the matching page. There we are. Okay. So this one, I've got some long rectangles down the sides. These are 1 inch wide by 3 1/4 tall. And they're just going down the side. So I think the trick with these Neverending cards is not to use too thick a cardstock and designer paper on top. Otherwise you may struggle to fold it up and you'll get too much thickness. So these ones now are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. There we go. So now we've got the front inside, so now we're going to open it this way, and now this time we're going to cover these 2 bits here. So these are the same as the ones before. These are, let's get to the same page, 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, oh, I probably should have put them the other way round because we've got 2 pink ones there and there, but never mind. And let's just open up this bit. So again, these are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. Oh, that's not the paper for there. This is the one. Let's stick that one upside down. There we are. And this one. And I've got some more of those little 1.5 by 1 inch rectangles. And we're back at the start. And there we go. Your never-ending card. So as I said, I think this is the front because then it can stand upright. And I've got some images from the same kit which I've cut out. So as I said, I don't want to put any foam tape or too much decoration on because I don't want the bulk. So I'm just going to put just a couple of images in, put some banners coming down maybe. Now, I thought if I put this heart here, I could maybe have it split down the middle. Just gonna bring my trimmer in. Just lining up the centre of the heart. Let's just take some of my black soot just to get rid of that raw edge. So remember now to line it up with the black, not with the paper, the decorative paper. So we've got the heart opening out. Let's have a little so I say all nice flat embellishments here. And we're back to the start. So I've got a little banner which I could probably put "Life is Sweet." Any spaces? I think the paper speaks for itself though, so I think I may leave it as it is because I think that just looks a bit awkward. So I think I'll just leave it with just the one. So there we have it. Our never ending card made to fit into a 5x7 envelope. And if you've liked it, I'm going to give it a go. Please hop onto Facebook and find my group Paper Crafting with Paul and show me your versions of this card. Thank you very much and see you again for another tutorial soon.